Aubrey. How are you?
I'm great, Jessica. How are you?
I am so excited. I'm so excited to be here with you on All Ears English. And one of my favorite topics, the 90s.
I know we are 90s children, children of the 90s, and
Yes.
it's been weird to see fashion trends coming back. We know you guys have seen this as well. The trends from our childhood are back. My teenagers wear everything that I wore when I was a teenager. It's
Yep.
very strange.
100%. So guys, the reason why we're talking about 90s fashion today, we're going to give you the vocabulary to describe it because it is current to today. This is one of the questions on our recent pop culture quiz. Guys, if you haven't checked this out, check it out. Go to allearsenglish.com/pop quiz. I am writing these quizzes and they're very fun. They're new every month. When you take the quiz, you get your pop culture IQ and you get a free English course. It's this whole free mini course, guys. It's called 3 Ways to Be Interesting in English. It's yours. Just take the quiz. allearsenglish.com/pop quiz.
Yes, it's such a win-win because not only do you get questions about what's happening right now in the news in pop culture, so it
Yeah.
can help you stay up to date. If you don't know these things, you probably should. And also you get this free course. So you're welcome, guys. Check it out. allearsenglish.com/pop quiz.
So you're welcome. All right. So let's get into this. Aubrey, tell me about your like typical outfit in the 90s. What was your style?
I was grunge all the way. I had these like combat boots, but they were like cheap. I got them at Salvation Army maybe or like
Totally.
REI. And I would wear flannel shirts open with like a t-shirt under it and then just like jeans, but like
Yep.
pretty baggy, nothing tight. And then
Yep.
I went through like a skater phase when I
Mhm.
first got to college with like really baggy clothes. What
Me
about you?
too.
Same,
I
same, same.
also I also went through like a hippie phase where
Nice.
like I listened to a lot of Grateful Dead and I made my own hemp necklace
Oh,
and I had like this long hippie skirt. That
I
phase
love
didn't
that.
last for very long, guys. Mostly I was just like the skater slash jock chick. Like if I had a game that day, I would wear my soccer shorts. If not, I would just be in, yeah, very baggy pants and like a band t-shirt, right?
Yes. I had a couple of friends like you when you were in your hippie phase when I lived in Jackson. I
Yeah.
loved their style. They had, yes, the hemp necklaces and bracelets. I loved their style. It was very cool, but it was more work. They had to like
Yeah.
go to the thrift shops and really scour to find this cool stuff because
Yeah.
none of us had a lot of money. And a
Right.
lot of those clothing, you couldn't even find them new, right? A lot of it was like the retro look.
And this is something I love about 90s fashion trends coming back today is that it's also the trend of shopping secondhand has come back because what's
Yes.
cool today, like what my son wants to wear, he wants to wear like old t-shirts that have like rock bands on them and stuff too. He wants
Yeah.
cool vintage shirts. He wants big jeans that have been worn a lot already. So I love it because it saves me money because we just go
Yeah.
to Goodwill now, same as when I was in high school.
Same, exactly. For a long time, my kids were like too good for thrift stores because
Yeah.
they're like it wasn't the cool thing to do. And now, same, that's where they want to get their big baggy cool t-shirts. So
Mhm.
it's cheaper. It's amazing. I love it. Recycle, reduce, reuse.
Exactly. So we're both moms of teens, right? Can you tell me about your teens styles?
Yeah, so my teens dress very differently. My
Okay.
older daughter will wear like fitted crop tops
Yeah.
and then like high-waisted snug jeans. And then my 16-year-old, very baggy, giant pants.
Yeah.
She found this clothing brand that's Obey,
Mhm.
and we have found it in some of the like stores that are discount stores like Marshalls or a Ross here in the
Cool.
States. And so they're more affordable there, but we looked them up online and they're like $300 for these
Oh my
pants. So
gosh.
that's not happening. So we have to find them in these cheaper places. And then she'll wear giant concert shirts, right? She has this Deftones t-shirt she loves and
Sweet.
they're usually black or gray,
Yeah.
right? So they look very different, these 2 girls, both in style, both very
Yeah.
trendy, but dressing so differently.
That's awesome. All right, so we've already used some of today's vocabulary, guys, but let's get into this vocab list. And listeners, I want you to think about it. Do these words describe your style now, your style when you were a teenager? If you're a parent, do these words describe what your kids are into? So let's discuss. So we've used this first word a lot, baggy. This is you can picture it, right? It's like you're putting a bag on each leg. Like that's how
Right?
big
Just
these
super
pants are.
oversized, like nothing fitted, really wide leg jeans,
Mhm.
often not really snug on the waist either, and then t-shirts that are really oversized.
Yeah.
But they're interesting because they're meant to not be really too big in the neck. They're like fitted to be like this big baggy t-shirt, but that
Mhm.
looks appropriate on a teenager. It's interesting.
Yeah, my son shops he and his friends, like, rave about, like, Pro Club or something. I shouldn't say or something, I know what it is. It is Pro Club, but, it sells, like, exactly that style, like,
Mm,
only white and black and gray T-shirts that are plain
okay.
with the closed collar, and everything else is huge, right? Big
Yes.
old baggy clothes. All right. So, a specific kind of pants that are often baggy are cargo pants or cargo shorts. And they're called cargo pants or cargo shorts because they have tons of pockets in which you can store cargo, right? Cargo is like the big stuff we carry. So, these are pants or shorts with lots of pockets everywhere. Did
Yeah, they have
you?
lots of big pockets on the
Big
side of the
pockets.
pant leg usually.
Yes.
This surprised me the most when cargo pants came back. I thought those were gone forever. When my kids asked for cargo pants, I was shooketh.
You were what? Say that again?
I
You
was
were
shook.
shooketh?
I was so surprised. I've never heard that. My teenagers say that. They'll either say I was shook, and then sometimes they say I was shooketh.
I love it. It's like Shakespearean
Yeah.
slang. That is so fun. Yeah, I love me a good cargo pant.
Nice.
They're so it's so handy, right? You got all the
Right.
pockets, and come on, they just look cool. They're just cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All
Love it.
right. Midriff shirts. That's one word. Midriff. MIDRIFF. Also known as crop tops. So yeah, I never wore these. These are just like little shirts that are cut off, right? So your stomach shows. Did
Exactly,
you
and
ever
then a
wear
lot of
those?
people these days will wear, like, a high-waisted pant with
Yeah,
a midriff shirt or a crop top, so they're really not showing that much skin,
that's true.
actually.
That's true.
They're just like the pant is higher and the top is shorter. I didn't wear them either. I honestly wasn't allowed to wear them, they were considered
Oh.
immodest by my
Oh,
parents,
right.
but my daughters are allowed to wear them, and they love to.
I was never, like, confident enough in showing, like, my belly to wear shirts
Mm.
like that. Even at my athletic heights, I always had a little belly. Like, I can't help it. I just love food
No
too much.
six-pack happening, not for
No
me either.
six packs.
Not wearing a bikini, and I'm not wearing a crop top.
Exactly. Never have, never will. All right. All right. Skater shoes, right? We talked about dressing like skaters in that style, and that's just like baggy clothes, big old pants, band t-shirts, but also the sneakers matter. So skater shoes, I think of Vans as like the quintessential skater shoe.
For sure, Vans, and there were, like, specific ones that they used to have. I'm imagining this, like, black and blue and white one that
Mhm.
have come back. I'm like, "Oh,
Totally.
man, I remember those from the '90s." But also Converse. I feel like
Yeah.
Converse I don't know if skateboarders wear them as much, but I feel like they were really big in the '90s, and they've definitely maybe they've stayed popular. Have Converse always been
I think
popular?
so. I think they've
Maybe. They
always
never went
been
away.
in. Yeah,
They're just
no.
so cool.
And like every major brand makes skate shoes now because it's a
Yeah.
popular style, right? My son
Mhm.
had these pair of Adidas skate shoes forever. He doesn't skate, but they're cool sneakers, and that's what it is. It's just about the style. I
Mhm.
never skateboarded. I snowboarded, but I dressed like I skateboarded.
Same. I had Vans, and then when they got worn
Yeah.
out, I duct taped them so I could keep wearing them.
That's
Because
also
yeah,
a
those
style.
yeah, that's true. I had that style, but it's true. I never was a skater, but it was just cool to dress that way. We were all
Totally.
posers.
I know. Same with flannel shirts. So now we're really getting into the grunge style. Let's explain grunge style. We have just a couple more terms, then we'll get to the role play. So, Aubrey, what is grunge?
Yeah, I feel like Kurt Cobain of Nirvana
Yeah.
really was the ringleader here. I just picture him. A lot of it was about kind of the hair and the unkempt look, often like
Hmm.
longer hair.
Yep.
But then the clothing, usually a plaid button down shirt, usually not buttoned up. The
Hmm.
goal was to look pretty unkempt, like sloppy, right?
Messy.
And then messy. Not huge baggy pants like the skater pants, but not like snug either.
Yeah.
The pants that came back about 10 years ago that were super form fitting didn't really even hardly exist in the 90s. I feel like
Mm-mm.
nobody wore tight pants.
No, thank goodness. Nobody
I miss those
nobody had those,
days.
like, skinny jeans, that's not 90's.
Right, no.
Yeah, grunge is comfy, man, it's just comfy and loose, not super baggy like you said, but definitely a flannel shirt, raggedy t-shirt, some old jeans, right? Maybe some combat boots. So flannel shirts, big up here in the Pacific Northwest, like you said, it's a plaid,
Yeah.
specific fabric is the flannel, but it has buttons. And then the last piece of that grunge style is Doc Martens boots, which are way expensive. So we could get
And
some
not comfortable.
generics. They're so stiff.
They're
They're
really stiff.
so not comfy. I had generics. I had some fake Doc Martens, but combat boots, right?
Same.
Something from like an
Mhm.
army surplus store, those kind of boots.
Yep, exactly. And I feel like boots, it's interesting to look at the evolution of boots because it went from those kind of grungy boots to like nicer, like knee high leather boots and skinny
Yeah.
jeans tucked into them. And now that's gone. And I feel like we're back to like Doc Martens and combat boots.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I am so
I welcome
100%
these
on
trends back.
board. All of my son's friends, if I go to his school and look around, I'm like, it's like I'm back in school. I am comfortable
Totally.
here. All right.
Exactly.
Aubrey, are you ready to get into a role play?
Yeah, let's do a role play using some of this vocab because we
Awesome.
do talk about this. Like, we want to show you how this would look in a conversation.
Yeah, guys, oh my gosh, the reminiscing that Aubrey and I could do, we could go on for hours using this vocab, talking about what it makes us remember in high school, the parties we went to,
Absolutely.
the awkward dates we went on because the boys' pants were too big. I don't know. Like, there's so many ways to connect from just clothing vocabulary.
Exactly. Yes. We want you guys to have these conversations. All right, I'll start us out. Oh, hey, I like your pants. That looks like something I would have worn in high school.
Yeah, well, I still dress like I did in high school. Lots of baggy pants and flannel shirts.
It looks good though. At least you're not wearing a crop top.
Honestly, I never wore crop tops. Did you?
Nah, I was into the whole grunge thing though. I definitely had many a pair of baggy cargo pants.
Did you wear Doc Martens? I wanted a pair, but I could never afford them.
Me neither. I just had some old combat boots that I found at an army surplus store. Jessica, you know me too well. This
I
whole
know.
role play is like my actual life.
Me too. I mean, we repeated a lot of the ideas that came
Yeah,
up spontaneously, and I
so
wrote
funny.
this role play last week. All right, so let's go through this role play, Aubrey.
Yeah, so first you were describing what you were in high school. You said lots of baggy pants and flannel shirts, right? So just like we were saying, those pants that are not fitted, they're really loose. And then that flannel shirt that was often like plaid
Mhm.
and that really warm fabric that you cannot wear in the Arizona summer. This is like for the Northwest where it's cooler.
This is yeah, Portland, Seattle, this sort of
Mhm.
area. But the way we go back and forth, I want to highlight too, besides just how we use the vocab, right? So first, you're giving me a compliment, right? I like your
Mm,
pants, and then you're bringing yourself into it. You're personalizing it, saying I would have worn those in high school, and then I'm like, yeah, same, you know.
right?
And then
I
you
still dress like I did back then and then
yeah,
sharing that specific clothing.
totally,
Exactly.
totally. And then you gave me another compliment. Thank you. You said, "It looks good though." And then at least you're not wearing a crop top because then we could both agree, moms in
Mhm.
our 40s probably shouldn't wear crop tops. I think we're on the same page there.
This is funny because I am taking a risk, and it kind of shows that I know you well, because
Mm,
I do know some moms in their 40s that wear crop tops and look amazing, and I
that's
would not say
true.
this to them, right? If
Okay,
I
that's
know
true.
that they maybe would wear a crop top, I wouldn't say, "At least you're not wearing a crop top," because then they might be like, "Well, I did yesterday, you have a problem with that?"
That's true.
But you, I know well enough that I would say this to you.
That's true. And then we go back and forth about that, right? Asking, did you wear those? And you don't say, like, no, no, I did not wear crop tops. You say, nah. Right? Instead
Right?
of no, nah. And then I was into the whole grunge thing. So if you're describing a genre, a trend, a movement that you were into, we could use this phrase, the whole grunge thing, the whole rock thing, the whole skater thing.
Exactly, you're describing that whole trend,
Mhm.
exactly, and then I love this, I definitely had many a pair of baggy cargo pants. This is such a fun construction, right? Many a crop top just means you had a bunch of them, but we use this chunk, many a blank.
Because it sounds so grammatically incorrect, and you
Right.
listeners, you might hear this and be like, "Was that a mistake?" That's not correct. So it is something we say, and it highlights that there were a lot. That's it. It just is a fun way to say a lot, right? I have many a pair of sunglasses. I do. I have like 10 pairs of sunglasses for some reason.
Nice. And then, so we were talking about Doc Martens while we were chatting there, and you just said, "Did you wear Doc Martens?" Often we will do this. We'll ask about a specific brand, especially something like this that was so like the boot to wear was Doc Martens. So we're both
Yeah,
going to be familiar, right? And then I just
totally.
said, "Nah, I just had old combat boots."
Yep, awesome. And then saying you shopped, at an army surplus store, I totally did that when I was in high school,
Yep.
still do that today, I love army surplus stores. So yeah, they're just like secondhand, sometimes newish stuff, extra stuff from, the military, but you can get, like, cheap cargo pants and boots, super cool places. I wonder if they're in other countries.
I am curious. Yeah, let us know. Come to YouTube and leave a comment and let us know if you have army surplus stores. This is definitely a thing in the States.
Yes. And guys, remember to get your pop culture IQ. Go to allearsenglish.com/pop quiz.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessica. This is so fun.
Super fun.
90s trends. Such a fun
Love
thing to
it.
chat about.
All right, Aubrey. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye,
Bye.
guys.